Best midfielder in the world is Brazil's unlikely hero As Bruno Fernandes starred by scoring both goals as Portugal booked their place in the World Cup knockout phase. He was as Brazil's key invisible man. By full-time, Casemiro was being lauded as the best midfielder in the world. Brazil's World Cup match against Switzerland looked to be heading for a dour, goalless draw, but the Manchester United player had other ideas. With 7 minutes remaining and some fans heading for the exits, Casemiro fired an unstoppable, angled drive into the far corner of the net to leave the remaining supporters roaring in delight and fire his side into the last 16 with a game to spare. The goal also delighted Brazil greats Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos, and Cafu, who were sitting together watching the game inside the stadium. "I scored, but it's important to have assisted the whole team," said the midfielder, who was player of the match. "When we win together. When we lose together. It doesn't change my mindset. This is a group. The Brazil national team as players. We must play as a group. That is most important to get the title." Gilberto Silva, part of the last team to win the World Cup 20 years ago, said Casemiro has a great responsibility with his defensive duties so that those with the attacking talents can flourish. Silva said Casemiro's intelligence held the key, and that being smart as an invisible holding midfielder on the pitch made things easier for those in front of him. Ultimately, Casemiro had to do it all himself, making more interceptions than any player on the pitch. No player had more than his 2 shots, while he ended up scoring his first World Cup goal. A lifeless contest exploded when the United player's arrow drive hit the back of the net, and he joined his teammates at the final whistle as they jumped and sang in delight in front of their jubilant following. Victory sealed progression to the knockout stage, and Neymar tweeted afterwards, "Casemiro has been the best midfielder in the world for a long time." Asked about his opinion, Tite replied with a smile and said, "As a habit, I always respect opinions. I usually don't comment, but I will allow myself to do so today. I agree." Brazil assistant Cesar Sampaio, who played in the 1998 World Cup final defeat by France, added, "Casemiro manages in front of the back 4 and acts as the first screen. He can also shoot from mid-range distances, which makes a key difference in that position." Casemiro said, "It is very clear that my very first objective is to support the team and bring equilibrium. I need to support the players at the back and put out fires wherever they may be. When you are playing against a defensive opponent, we must feel what is happening. My first duty is defensive, but if there is an opportunity to take the kick on goal, that can be important too." In other news, Bruno Fernandes scored both goals as Portugal booked their place in the World Cup knockout phase with a 2-0 victory over Uruguay at Lusail Stadium. It initially looked as though Cristiano Ronaldo had drawn level with Portugal's record World Cup goalscorer Eusebio when he rose to try Rohed in Fernandes' 54th-minute cross, but replays showed that the Portugal captain, who has scored 8 World Cup goals, did not get a touch on it, and the goal was given to Fernandes as his team claimed a second successive Group H win. Fernandes' goal, followed by a penalty in added time, proved enough to turn a tight and tense contest Portugal's way and put them in pole position to top their group ahead of facing South Korea on Friday. Uruguay, meanwhile, will need to beat Ghana in their quest for a place in the round of 16. Portugal made 3 changes from the side that beat opening opponents Ghana, with Nuno Mendes, Pepe, and William Carvalho all handed starts. Luis Suarez, meanwhile, was among the substitutes for Uruguay, with Edinson Cavani called into a starting X-side that also saw roles for Guillermo Verla and Sebastian Coates. Uruguay's Rodrigo Bentancur collected a yellow card after just 6 minutes after a foul on Ruben Dias, and Portugal dominated the early exchanges. Fernandes drifted a shot wide. Then Ronaldo saw a free kick deflected for a corner, but Uruguay should have gone ahead 12 minutes before halftime. Bentancur tormented Portugal's defense after breaking clear from just inside his own half, but just when it looked as though he had done all the hard work with only Diogo Costa to beat, he shot straight at the goalkeeper. Matheus Oliveira became the second Uruguay player to be booked, while Portugal's Ruben Neves was also cautioned during an opening 45 minutes that finished 0-0. But there was also a major blow for Portugal as Mendes was forced off injured, leaving the field in tears and being replaced by Rafael Guerreiro just before halftime. Oliveira was fortunate to avoid a second yellow card following a reckless foul, and Wolves captain Neves needed treatment after a challenge by Uruguay's Matias Vecino. The deadlock was broken 9 minutes into the second period when Fernandes' cross eluded Ronaldo and Uruguay goalkeeper Sergio Rochet. It was no less than Portugal deserved, and they confirmed all 3 points when Fernandes sent Rochet the wrong way from the penalty spot after a controversial handball was awarded against Jose Maria Gimenez after a VAR review. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a and make sure to subscribe to Man United Hub to get all the latest updates.